took a trip to Lambeau coming off a bye, lost a nail biter in overtime to Aaron Rodgers. It's a tough loss. Cowboys are now 6-3. Let's just talk through it a little bit, bro.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. It's just, uh, you know what I mean? It's a tough one, especially to lose that way. You know what I mean? We just going to bounce back, man. We got a tough trip coming up in Minnesota after this, but now, just having that loss, and especially a game we know we could have won. Now, you know what I mean? Getting that loss, and then couple that with a few teams winning. You know, what I mean, some teams is creeping up in this wild card spot. It just kind of make things interesting for us moving forward. So we might, definitely gonna have to bounce back, man. But it's a lot of things that we're gonna have to talk about as far as flaws and things that coming out of that bye week I thought would have been a lot better moving forward.
Yeah, this is an inexcusable loss coming off of a bye against a 3-5 team at the time. 3-5, 3-6.
3-6, I believe. Yeah.
We give them their fourth win of the season. And to be honest, I mean, this was a game that probably meant a lot to Aaron Rodgers, just like it meant a lot to Mike McCarthy. But some of the play calling in this game was very questionable. Some of the decision making, some of the calls as far as penalties are concerned were very questionable. We kind of got hit with a bogus holding call, a soft holding call, just to turn around and miss the PI at the end of the game. That's kind of crazy. There was a ridiculous block in the back called on special teams, but it is what it is. You got to play around those kind of things.
And I hate to leave it in the referee hands in the first place. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you said, a lot of plays that swung the game momentum and different things like that. You would hope that referees or whatever, they just kind of let it play. But to that point, I think before we even go into the refs, I just feel like we wasn't even supposed to be in that situation in the first place. And then you spoke about Kellen Moore, so I just want to start right there. Not too much just to play the blame game today, but I think, man, like you say, the play calling, it's just one of those things that stood out to me just the most, man. And we always talked about, when Dak got back into this thing, right, we would be able to kind of stick to our keys and kind of that formula that we've been built up to this point, right? So I think the major thing is just looking into that box score and then seeing Dak throwing it 46 times, right? And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing, right? And then as much as we want to speak on Aaron Rodgers, right? Yes, he made the throws that he had to. But on the flip side, Green Bay Packers, they played the type of formula and the type of game that we expected to come out with. Like Aaron Rodgers, he just threw it like 20 times. They leaned on the run game, and he just made timely throws and threw when he had to. And I think for Dak Prescott, anytime that we throwing north of 40 times a game, this is not our formula. I don't care if it's who back there. You know what I mean? Like Tony
Right.
Pollard and Malik Davis, you could say we needed Zeke that game. Man, we averaged about 7 yards per carry, man. So I just think play calling was definitely a big disappointment in this game.
I agree. Yeah, we can't throw the ball 46 times. That's not our remedy. It does seem like Kellen has gotten very pass happy with the return of Dak Prescott, which is the opposite of what we had hoped for. We were looking more for that run balance, and that was not available. And it's not like we were down big, man. So to throw the ball that much does not make sense,
Nah,
especially on early
you
downs.
know, like you say, even if we're down, I can understand. Like you say, hey, we're down 7 because we went up 7-0 and then we was down 7-14, right? Even in a situation like that, like it's only a 7-point ball game. Stick to what we know best, run the ball, right? We do go up 7. You come back out, we get the short side of the field, get a strip sack from DeMarcus Lawrence, and you come right out of there, right there. I don't like you can blame that on Dak, because I do wonder, like, what's miscommunication or what, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I wonder why not just throw it out of the back of the end zone, you know what I mean, and take the 3 here. Anticipation or not. So I'll give Dak a lot of share of the blame for this game, but it's not all on him. He did put up 28 points, right? He did show resiliency. He backed it up, bounced back when it was time. I think the most important thing to me that stood out that just kind of just it's a huge disappointment is the defense, man. I think when you up 28-14, we talk about this every week. We say, look, we'll take this defense being up on any team, right? Because we can depend on our ears back, you know what I mean? Get to do what we do. We feel like that's our strength, right? And I think it was at a point it was 28-14. You got a 4th down and 7, and you let Aaron Rodgers get that touchdown right there. Like, you get that stop right there, the game is over at this point. You know what I mean? And you allowed them to get that touchdown, get that momentum, get back in the game. And then there was so many times that we could have closed this thing out. But, I just felt like the defense didn't show up this game. They just didn't. You know what I mean? And the
Not
run
at
defense
all.
especially.
And we had Micah playing off the ball far too much. I know he's dealing with is he still dealing with the groin? Is that what it is?
He dealing with it all. I think he's dealing with a shoulder injury right now. You see him had to get the ankle taped up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of everything. But I mean,
Yeah, that
yeah,
the defense does not look the same without him with his hand in the dirt. Yeah, that one hurts. Anthony Barr being out, I think, was a problem. I think less Van Der Esch is more Van Der Esch, to be honest with you, and that kind of came back to bite us because with him out there as much as he was, he just doesn't have the speed or the I guess the football IQ that an Anthony Barr
yeah.
has.
And Anthony Barr is more of a, what I mean, see ball. He runs in there, blocking shed, knows how to, stick his nose in there. Van Der Esch, he's a guy that kind of like he plays backwards more than forward, and a lot of times, and if you're athletic, a guy like Micah, maybe you can chase that down sometimes, but sometimes that'll put you in a position where you're just creating bad angles, you know what I mean, and maybe too late, especially the way that it's going right now. Like I seen a thing where it was a post and it showed all the teams that been running the ball and having success. And one thing that stood out is just to the edges, to the edges, to the edges. And I believe we
Mm-hmm.
talked about it last week. Well, not last week, before going into the bye. You know what I mean? Chicago. You know what I mean? They just kept doing the same thing. These outside runs. And I was wondering how we would play that. And then you could see Green Bay. They took a page out of the next team book. And it just seems like a thing, like I don't want to call it a blueprint, but it's something that teams are seeing on field with Dallas where I don't know if we don't have the run stopping guys on the edge outside of a D-Law. He's the only one that really make plays in the run game, where it's just like these guys are just going to the edge, getting these linebackers wise. And we having struggles that we're gonna have to figure it out soon, fast and soon.
I know we previously discussed. You pointed out the stunts that I guess Quinn Bohannon was getting questioned about why he
Yeah,
missed that tackle on Aaron Jones. So it almost seems like Dan Quinn is making guesses on pass and run, and he's guessing wrong a lot of the time because we've got a tough schedule ahead of us with these teams that can run the ball. But I think one thing that I really noticed was there was no adjustment to put Malik Hooker in center field after Christian Watson burned
right.
AB the first time around. There was not safety help there, and that's
I
unacceptable
mean,
in my
it's
opinion.
hard, man, because I think going to this game, we knew Aaron Rodgers. Like if you give Aaron Rodgers a zone defense, Aaron Rodgers will eat you up, right? But I think
Right.
Dan Quinn knew that, and going into this game, he was like, okay, I like my guys manning up. Okay, well, outside of Trayvon Diggs, like Aaron Rodgers knew that he was like, I'm not going at Trayvon Diggs, respecting him. He only targeted him like one time. They made it an example to target everybody else. Like Anthony Brown, you get some. You know what I mean? First play. Boy, you falling on your head, you get a concussion. Like, how embarrassing is that, right? You go out. And then from that point forward, you can see, even when Aaron Rodgers was missing those throws, like I was telling you earlier, I was watching them just like, yeah, we got to Aaron Rodgers. We shuffled him a little bit there. A missed throw here. And I'm like, man, it looked like a lot of miscommunication like that. You know what I mean? Like that just kind of changed the dynamic of things. And, like DeVon Bland, whether he slipped, you know what I mean? It just Aaron Rodgers knew, like, you know what I mean, between him and Kelvin Joseph, he was going to take advantage of whoever else was there, man. And, you know what I mean, to a fault, man, he was getting it off quick. We wasn't able to get there, man. So it's just frustrating to see, frustrating to give up that lead, man. Going into this game, if I told you we was up 14 points going into the fourth quarter, there's no way I see we lose that game. It's things, man.
It's crazy too because Christian Watson has been a drop guy all year long, and he gets his shit together against Dallas, like coming in there off a bye. That doesn't make any sense. But shouts out to them,
Yeah.
honestly. It is an unacceptable loss though, considering we came in there off a bye. They had a lot of injuries coming into that game. Green Bay did, and Aaron Rodgers was throwing with a bum thumb.
Yeah. It's terrible, man. Like you say, the defense, man, the defense. Like this is supposed to be the strength of our team, and like you say, Christian Watson, like why Dallas and why this game? Well, going into that, there was something that I would say Aaron Rodgers like. You know, what I mean, maybe he's seen it early in the game. He's like, okay, like you got a burner, and they kept playing man. So I think he was seeing it, and he realized that made an early point that he was gonna keep testing these guys, and like you say, to that point, they just kept trying it, and you know, what I mean, it worked out, man. I just wish that when it was time to close the game out, whether it was the defense or Dak, like you said, 2014. How could we have got 3 more points? You know what I mean? Why didn't we stick to the run game? Tony
Right.
Pollard, he's doing good. Malik Davis, he's coming in. He's looking good. There's no reason that we need to come out passing. And I think not only just the passing part of it, but like when you passed it. You know what I mean? And even it looks like we just
Right.
running out of shotgun. They wasn't doing anything to kind of open this thing up. It's just terrible to see, man. Definitely a step back in the wrong direction for Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy, man, he might have to get on him a little bit, man. And then if you think about like the all the way down to the end of the game, and I think when I initially seen the 4th down call where they kicked the field goal, and I'm like, well, why not take 3 points? You know what I mean? And the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I'm not mad that we took 3 points. Well, we didn't take the 3 points. I'm like, okay, I understand. You see Mike McCarthy, he had like an aggressive nature the whole game. He was going for it. And to his point, we were successful. But if you're going to be doing that, then 3rd down and 4, run the ball. You know what I mean? Make it more manageable. Make it
Right.
put some pressure on these guys, man. You don't come out passing 2 times in a row. And then even to that, like the passing play, like the last play of the game, it just didn't look like it wouldn't be the play that I would expect you to come out, nothing like to get that 1st down. It just like something dry, basic, and Dak just throws it up. He got pressured, you know what I mean? And whatever, man. It's all wrote from there. That's all she wrote.
We completely mismanaged the end of that game. With 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, I think ball around the 20-yard line, like 80 yards to go. It might have been closer to 70, but like that's what you pay Dak for. That's what you pay Kellen Moore for. That's inexcusable, honestly. And then to get the ball first in overtime, just to punt it, like what? That doesn't make it. And then to stop.
And I
him.
mean, it sucks because
That's crazy.
Like that drive had started off very encouraging. You know what I mean? We was driving the ball, it looked good. Man, the penalties, man. You know what I mean? Like we get the huge run, the Conor McGovern hole, whatever. But from the eye test, we could see holding or not. Like it was chunk yardage in the run game. Like it was opening things up.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you said, the penalties stalls it. Then the Jalen Tolbert situation, just maybe that's the reason why he's not playing at this point, man. You know, young guy, boneheaded mistakes. He's, you know what I mean? It just to this point right now, and I don't believe. I know Gallup had came back, but I was wondering why he's even on the field, clutch time situation like that in the first place, man. It's just crazy.
Agreed. Like what? Why week 10 did we decide
Exactly.
it was Tolbert time?
Like, we haven't done that all year long. When the game matters the most, you got your young guy in there. You haven't trusted him all year. I don't get it, man. Maybe they felt like he's a better run blocker, but it's just like you say, it's just weird, man. Just to take this loss, man. It's a lot to learn from, but you know, the main thing I take from this game and what worries me, like it is the defense. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's something that we can just sit back no more and say, oh well, we're gonna sugarcoat this thing a little bit, but this happened. Oh, it was a mobile quarterback this time, man. No, like we got serious issues in this run defense. And I think Dan Quinn, he's gonna have to go back to the drawing board. What there's a personnel thing, like you say, schematics as far as like all these stunts. I think we're gonna have to figure something out. I don't think it's a thing like as far as the guys up front, you know, Hankins and Bohanna. We got big boys in the middle. It's not that. It's just like these plays to the edge, and then our linebackers are just kind of like inconsistent. Like, you know, whether they're overrunning the play or just look like they're very how would I say, very like indecisive out there when it comes to the run fits.
Right. Yeah, no, we've definitely got to shore some things up heading into Minnesota next week. I think that if we get gashed up on the ground again, we'll be in trouble. So hopefully they look back at the tape, can shore some things up, because Dalvin Cook, he'll go off if we let him. But
tough loss, man. Freaking Aaron Rodgers, man. Once again, man. I don't know what it is about this guy, man. But like you say, man, shout out to them. Shout out to Green Bay. We're gonna have to bounce back from this one. Maybe we'll see them more later down the road. They have their fair share of games to win again to the playoffs too. But I mean, it's getting the clutch time. Like you said, we got to go up to Minnesota. You know what I mean? They just had a solid win against the Bills, man. So look, tough team, not a tough matchup. Hey, let's see if we can bounce back, man.